So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Monday night, basically, opportunity to see what is all this buzz about with this happy coffee that everyone has been talking about, which is just absolutely amazing. So, my name is Chris Schwade. I'm calling you in from New Orleans, Louisiana. Calling you in. Can't even talk right now. I'm chiming in from New Orleans, Louisiana, and I'm flat out excited tonight to be able to share with you guys something that has literally touched and changed our life in a big, big way. A little bit over, it's now approaching 3 years in November. A friend of mine told me about how he invested in this public company, and in investing in that company, they had sent him a gift, which happened to be this. And what that is basically coffee. And he said, I drink coffee, so I'll try this stuff. And the stories that he was sharing on what it was doing for him, as well as his wife, were very intriguing. In fact, when he was telling me the power of something as simple as what he was already doing, which was drinking coffee, and how he could literally put a scoop in his cup, and how he was having this major difference, it almost sounded too good to be true, right? When somebody tells you you've been drinking coffee for years, right? And then somebody tells you that, oh my gosh, you can have this kind of coffee, and then all these amazing things change. I mean, it almost sounded like, some magical unicorn coffee. And then I'm on Facebook and I'm watching a friend of mine, and she is talking about the same stuff. And I'm like, what in the world's going on with all this stuff? And I'm like, I have to try this. Like, if it's doing what people are saying it's doing, like, the worst case scenario is I stay the same. I need to try this stuff. And what I can tell you is when I did, what happened was miraculous for me. I just gone through over 2 years of being sick. And in that time period, I went from making a strong 6-figure income into not being able to pay my bills. My mortgage was a month behind. It was like 4 months behind. I had to go back into construction. And I was helping a friend of mine run his company, and that's how I was catching up on my bills. But I was at the lowest point I'd ever been. Imagine having, a pretty amazing income and then your mortgage being late. Imagine, losing things that you bought. Like, I bought my dream boat in 2014. I lost it at the end of 2016, which caused my credit to go from an 800 something to a 5 something, which was not happy stuff, right? So imagine, just being at the lowest point of your life, and somebody tells you how this one simple thing that you're already doing can make a major difference. And it sounded too good to be true. But what I can tell you is when I tried this stuff, for the first time in 2 years, I felt like me again. I felt normal again. I was dealing with anxiety. I was dealing with, what I would consider depression for me, being late, being behind, being not even knowing like what happened to me, right? And it was just amazing what happened for me, because in 15 minutes, I just had this sense of euphoria. It was like energy, yet a calming energy. And I just, being behind on everything, my air conditioning being out in the house and all these things, like, I just didn't care. It's like, it's all going to be okay. I just felt good about where I was going. With that, we put together a very simple system. And when he was sharing like what is possible and what can happen and all these things, we put together a really simple system, which is sharing a cup of coffee, a system that anybody can do. And in a very short amount of time, some amazing things happen in our life. But from a product perspective, what I can tell you is going from feeling lost and helpless to feeling this sense of normalcy again was not even something I can put in words. But instead of me sitting here, and sharing all this stuff, because everybody has, a different background, different things in life. You might not have gone through what I went through, but what I love about this stuff is the fact that everyone feels something. Everyone gets what their body needs. Because when you take these two products together, which is the coffee and the pill, and this is called Xanthamax, we call it the happy pill, and the Happy Coffee, when you take them together, it causes your body to naturally release all the happy chemicals. Now, guys, I used to be a horseshoer. Like I'm not a scientist. I'm not somebody who can sit here and tell you all how it works, other than the fact that you put a scoop of the stuff in a cup and you drink it and you start to feel great. But what I do know is after hearing the doctors talk about this over and over and over, what happens is this stuff balances out your hormones to where your body starts to produce dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins naturally with an all-natural product that you're already doing. And basically what happens because of that is miraculous for so many people. It's amazing what happens for people. So with that being said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off and I'm gonna go to Odile and have her share what has happened for her and exactly, what she's experienced on the product. So Odile, over to you, my friend.
Hello, thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here. So in a nutshell, my husband and I, we work as mindset coaches, and part of what we teach is how to change your emotional state by changing your chemical state. So changing from stress chemicals to feel-good chemicals. So when I met Lisa Corner, who's also on this call today, and she asked me if I'd heard about the Happy Coffee everyone's been talking about. And she mentioned to me that it prompts the brain to create its own happy hormones. That got my attention. It got my interest because we were already teaching people about developing the ability to trigger serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins in their own brain. But the biggest challenge we found that our clients have is that when someone is already feeling a negative emotion, it can be really difficult, if not impossible, to feel good enough to actually do the techniques we teach. So when Lisa told me about this, I thought, well, if it's genuine and it works the way she said it did, it could be an incredible tool as a boost or a leg up for people to feel good enough to do what we teach and help them to pick up the momentum. So Lisa sent us some samples and I did some research into the science behind it because of the nature of our business. I wanted to be certain, of course, that it's legit, and it was. And the research and the science is all valid. So Steve and I tested it on ourselves to find out if it was worth offering to our clients, and we were very impressed with the results. So we're pretty happy most of the time anyway, but we noticed a few things. So Steve used to take about 2 hours to get going in the morning, slowly. But from the first time he drank the Happy Coffee, and every day since then, within 20 minutes of drinking it, he's feeling a gentle kind of elevation, and he's ready to roll with the day within those 20 minutes. And his sleep has improved as well. And for me, I used to feel really sleepy and drained by 2:30 or 3 in the afternoon and struggle with the evenings. And now, well, it's after 7 o'clock here in the evening in Illinois, and I'm feeling wide awake and I'm able to enjoy my evenings now. And I've also finally started to lose weight, which I'm thrilled about because I've been trying for years. I tried everything. I tried keto, Gundry, cutting out all kinds of things, physical workout programs. There was so much, and it was weird how nothing was working. So after about 2 weeks of taking the max dose, I discovered I didn't like wine and chips anymore. I used to have wine and chips every evening before supper, and I'd given up on losing weight by then, and I didn't want to lose weight enough to give that up. And so, but about 2 weeks after I started the Happy Coffee, one night I noticed I just hadn't enjoyed them. And so I just don't like them anymore. We have them in the house, but I don't feel like them. So that's great. And I've lost 15 pounds so far. I'm over the moon because I hadn't lost anything before. So it's been really exciting to be able to offer this to our clients to help give them that leg up, that boost, and it's working incredibly well for them. We keep getting these wonderful thank you messages. And in addition to helping them feel better and changing the limiting subconscious beliefs about money, we can now also offer them this incredible business opportunity as a practical vehicle for reaching their financial goals and dreams, which is wonderful. So because the company is so amazing and the compensation plan is so powerful and the people are so fabulous and supportive, So we can wholeheartedly recommend becoming an Ellapreneur as an effective way to transform their finances as well as their own emotional and physical well-being. So thank you, Chris, and thank you, Lisa, so much for introducing me to this.
Awesome. Thank you, Odile. I appreciate that. Don't y'all just love how she says, oh, and I lost 15 pounds, where most people are like doing everything they can to lose 15 pounds. I drank a cup of coffee and I lost 15. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So with that, let's go over to Lisa Corna. Lisa, let's hear your perspective. What's happening for you since you've been drinking this amazing, happy unicorn coffee?
Well, I did think it was unicorn coffee at first. I had heard about it for a while, but I was skeptical. But I went to Vail, Colorado last August, and I knew I was going to have some issues with the altitude because I have lung problems. I had thought I had prepared, but I was not prepared for for how sick I really got. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't eat. I didn't sleep the entire time we were there. I had trouble walking. And most of all, I just could not think straight. And I'm an editor by trade, and I need to know all of the details of everything for my editing. So I was really, really, really scared and really, really worried. Of course, I did call the emergency people while I was there, and they told me the only thing I could do was descend. But we were there for another 2 days, so I stayed. Again, I didn't sleep the entire time we were there, and my brain fog just kept getting worse and worse. My oxygen levels were in the 80s. I brought an ox pulse, so I was testing to make sure that my levels were up. And but my brain was being starved of oxygen the entire time I was there. They said, just descend and you'll be fine. So fast forward, we go home, and I wasn't better. 3 weeks later, I wasn't even better. The only thing that was better was I could breathe a little bit better, but I couldn't think. I was making all kinds of mistakes with my editing, and I was terrified to go to a doctor because I thought he might tell me I did permanent brain damage. My friend Becky Comant reached out to me. We were just catching up. She was telling me about the coffee. She said, I'll send you a week's worth. She did. And I did immediately, 20 minutes in, after that first cup of coffee, my brain fog was actually lifted. Was I perfect? Not yet, but I could think again. I felt 1,000 times better. I had energy again. It was a miracle for me. I did not jump in immediately with the opportunity. I waited 3 weeks, but I was really excited to jump in, and I'm glad I did. Because once COVID hit, one of my magazines closed, and I've been able to replace that income with that. So, and also 11 months later, I've lost 10 pounds. So I'm really excited about that too. I've had amazing results with this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lisa, for sharing. So now we are going to go over to Wendy. Wendy, are you out there? Wendy,
hello. Yes, I'm here. Hopefully you all can hear and see me okay. It's stormy here in Florida, so just forgive me if I cut out. And I'm super nervous because I am not a speaker, okay? But thank you, Chris, for allowing me to just share my story here. So my name is Wendy, and I am a wife. I'm a mom and a bonus mom to 5 kiddos. My husband and I originally are from Indiana, but 3 years ago we moved to Inglewood, Florida. And so that's kind of been an adjustment for me. As for myself and my experience, I would say quite honestly, I've probably had issues with anxiety and chronic fatigue for probably most of my life. But due to having a blended family and the fun dynamics that come along with those blessings, these issues just got much worse, I would say roughly 12 years ago. And I've just been kind of suffering for all that time. And the issues 12 years ago keep in mind. So fast forward about 2 years ago is when a friend had told me about these products, and that's been a couple of years ago now. And I was very skeptical because I had tried so many things. Honestly, at that point, I was thinking weight loss. I was not thinking there was anything that would help me with anxiety. There was nothing that would help me with my depression, my nerves. I wasn't really focused on that. I was just thinking, okay, if I can lose, maybe 10, 15 pounds, I'd be happy. No pun intended. So I just figured, okay, what do I have to lose, right? And at that time, a couple of years ago, there were just coffee and Chocolate. And to this day, I swear I'm a coffee hater. I do not enjoy coffee. Our coffee is the only coffee I like, which is really weird. So I opted for the Chocolate because I thought, okay, I can handle that. And eventually I did move on to the coffee, and we're loving the Max Canadian version right now. So within the first week of using the products, though, I knew that they were something special. So I decided to jump in and at that point share them with my friends because I knew that, it's like with anything we share, right? You go to a movie, you enjoy the movie, you share it with a friend. So I started the journey with weight loss in my mind, but the emotional and the mental benefits became even more obvious to me. And so now the weight loss is just kind of like a side perk, a side benefit of using the products. And I could not be happier, literally. So for the first time since having my kids, I would say my oldest is 29. I've lost probably 40 plus pounds. I roughly 12 inches or so. Thank you. And I am, as of this week, I'm 5 pounds from my goal weight, which I never ever thought that I would be close to. So I'm like super excited. And I honestly feel that, God led me here. He led me here because when I found the products, I already had another business that I was passionate about. I wasn't really excited about adding another business to my full plate, but soon realized that it was much easier. It really was super easy. It's been way more fun. And because of the high demand for the products, even especially now with COVID, there is that demand. Like everybody's depressed, everybody's anxious. And I really thought that my business would feel a hit with that. But if anything, it's just kind of increased the demand for it. It's super crazy. So my income here soon exceeded that of the other business. And it's just been a huge blessing. So to wrap all that up, all I will leave you with is if you have a heart to help others and to change lives around you, this business is definitely the perfect fit for you. I have not regretted it in 2 years. So thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Wendy. And now, closing this bad boy out, I'm going to go to a friend of mine, Rachel Cunningham. Rachel, over to you, my friend.
Good evening. I was miserable before I found these products. I was absolutely miserable. I had done everything I possibly could to lose weight after having 3 children, all cesarean. So I never had that bounce back of weight like some lucky ladies do. And I had previously, a couple years before that, gone through some serious emotional trauma. And my body was in fight or flight mode. It could not do anything right. I was waking up with pain every morning in my joints. I was anxious all the time, screaming at my kids more often than I wanted to. My marriage was falling apart because I couldn't focus on anything. I was just all over the place. And I found out about these products. I found out about the coffee and what I like to call my chill pill. Chilled me out. And I realized that I needed to give it a shot. I literally had done everything. I had talked to homeopathics, I had talked to naturopaths, I had talked to everybody about all these different things, and nothing was working. Even my last visit with my homeopathic doctor, she was like, I don't know what to tell you. And I thought, well, gosh, if somebody else can lose, X amount of weight in a short time and feel better and push past their anxiousness, then I got to try this. So the first 7 days, I lost 5 pounds. I was completely even keeled with my kids. They noticed immediately. I had energy like you wouldn't believe. My focus to be able to work whatever I was doing was totally there, and I was completely sold. And I knew that a consumable product like this that people order every 30 days that was going to serve people, if it was going to serve people as well as it had served me in the first 5 days. I got that wrong. 7 pounds in 5 days. So if it was going to serve people that way, then I knew that it was something special, and I knew I wanted to share it with others. And so, because I thought I share about restaurants, I share about stores, I talk about different products I use. Why not share about something and actually make a commission? Like, you talk about stuff, you have conversations. That's what I love about Elevacity. I love that, first of all, the system is automated, right? People drink the products, they take the products, and they reorder because they feel good. And you get to be a part of that. Like Wendy said, serving people, that's what we do here. It's not about getting that next customer. It's about serving that next person with the products that they need to help them. And so that's one thing. The second thing I love about Elevacity is the simplicity. You don't have to know a bunch of science here. There are so many things out there where you have to know all the ins and outs, and all you have to know is how to ask people if they've heard about Happy Coffee and know where to connect them if they have questions that you're unable to answer in the beginning. And it's on the job training. You're going to learn through the leadership of this team. And then thirdly, and most importantly, I've been in this industry for 10 years. I've had some success, but I've never had the success that I've had here. And it wouldn't be without the community that we have here. The community of people that love one another, that serve one another. It's not about team versus team. It's just about everyone helping each other get out the word about these products and what they do to help others.
Awesome. Great job. I appreciate that, Rachel. It's amazing. I'm listening to all these ladies share, what has happened for them. And many of you all are looking at this. Some of you all might be looking at it because you're like, I can deal with some more happy in my life. I'm cool with that. Like, if there's a coffee that, what if I could just drink something that I'm already doing and feel better and feel great? Like that's incredible. Yet what I love is that you guys were actually trained through these stories on exactly what we do. So many of you all, you might be looking at, I just want to be happy. And other people are going, well, what is this money thing? How does that all work? Well, it's really cool, right? So it's as simple as sharing a cup of coffee with somebody and sharing a story. Well, how do you share a story without being weird and all that? And you just literally share, oh my gosh, this is what I was feeling when I started drinking it. This is what it did. And you share that story. And then step 3, you add them to a Facebook group. You send them a link. You give them a sample. It's really that simple. And you let the tools do the work for you. So if you're sitting here going, this sounds great, but I'm not good at sales. Awesome. What I do know is the coffee is good at sales. The tea is good at sales. The products are good at sales. Because when people try these things, when they try this stuff, they're like, oh my gosh. And they find themselves telling people about it for free. So what if you could get paid to do what you're already going to do for free and get a check for it? And more importantly, you heard Rachel say that they order over and over and over again. Imagine doing something one time and you get paid month after month after month, year after year if they still order the product. And it's just so cool. So guys, it's really simple stuff. And the last step, you heard Rachel share too, hey, you don't need to know all the answers. You don't have to understand everything. If you could literally put people on a Zoom just like this, Wednesday, we have another one of these. You run people, have you heard about the Happy Coffee everyone's been talking about? Boom, this is what it did for me. Hey, I'm gonna add you to a Facebook group. Here's a sample. And then you ask them, hey, is there anything else you need to know before you're ready to get started? And they go, well, and they ask a question. Guys, you don't have to know anything. If you know how to connect somebody on Messenger, if you know how to pick up the phone and call someone else and let them do all the answering for you, or you can put them on a Zoom just like this on Wednesday night, and boom, and you can grow your business in a big, big way. That's the reason why we have so many people winning. That's why so many people just like me who are horseshoers can go out there and create success in our company. And it's just really amazing. So with that being said, there's two types of people that jump on these calls. You know, one just might want to be happy. You might be sitting there going, you know what? I'm good. I have money in the bank. I'm allergic to extra money. I don't want any of that stuff, right? I just want to be happy. Awesome. Pick the product that makes the most sense for you, whether it's the coffee, the teas, hot chocolate, the whatever, and add this bad boy, and you're going to have a dose of happiness, right? So you're number one if you just want to try the products. But if you're somebody like me that says, you know what? Hey, if I'm going to share it, I might as well get paid. You're a number two. Get with the person who invited you on this and say, hey, show me how this works. Let's get this bad boy started, and let's go out there and change some lives. So get with the person, invite you on this call tonight, let them know, one, I just want to be happy, or two, I want to be happy and make extra money. Everybody have a great night. Thank you for jumping on board, and we will talk to you all later. I will unmute, and you can all say good night.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
Night,
Good
everyone.
night.
Thank you, Chris. Stories. Good night.
Adios.
Thank you.